Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our 2025 intention setting here at Mile High Church. We welcome everyone who's watching online. Are they watching online yet? All right. This is a time of reflection and intention this year. I'm very much looking forward to it. How many people are coming in here feeling great? All right. Anyone here hungover and show up anyways? Nice. Even more kudos to you. If you are in the sanctuary, hopefully you got our worksheet. Did everyone get a worksheet? Did you get a red stone? All right. Don't throw it yet. If you're watching online, you've already made it to our intention setting page. If you go all the way down to the bottom, you'll find the documents for this worksheet. And so you're looking for the 2025 intention worksheet. I'm so grateful to our prayer practitioner, Nicole. Where are you, Nicole? You're right there. Come on up, dear one. She has agreed to do an opening blessing for us this morning.
Oh, if we can just take this moment and close our eyes into the sparkle of the new year, recognize this divine love, divine consciousness, eternal essence of energy that is with us now. And in this place, we know that this presence carries us in the right foot forward. That curiosity, that love, that divine intention that we all share together and within ourselves. Leaving behind the judgment, the past, that which was, knowing that which we step into is exactly what it's supposed to be. Divinely unfolding, embracing us to this new and beautiful year. And just so much gratitude for all the beautiful faces and lovely smiles that I received today and that we received to each other. Hugs and sharing and all the connections we made last night, stepping us into this bright light of the new year. I release this knowing it is so good. It is so great. And let us move forward into a peaceful year. And so it is.
Damn fine prayer. I love it. Thank you so much, Nicole. Let's hear it for her. So as I mentioned, this year, our intention setting is about reflection and renewal. If you've come to these before, it is going to be a little bit different this year, so I apologize, and flow with me. But our theme this year is release, renewal, and resonance. And I mentioned that word hangover, which may be appropriate for some of you this morning, but a lot of us may be experiencing an overall hangover from our 2024. So we're going to work on releasing some of that. We're going to work on focusing on renewing our being and on identifying what resonates with our heart. And then we're going to set intentions for 2025, creative intentions based from that foundation. And I'm going to invite you to stretch a little bit with me today. You might be invited to share a little bit today. It's okay. It's okay to do those things. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, I want you to join me and put your hand over whatever we are calling our heart center. And I want you to repeat after me, even if it's not true. Here we go. I accept myself as I am. In this moment, I accept myself wholly and completely as I am. This is the most important thing you can do. You can stop repeating. For your new year, and I'll tell you why. 2 reasons. 1, there is no such thing as any sort of balance without self-acceptance. You don't have to like who you are. You don't have to be totally in love with who you are. You just have to accept yourself as you are in this moment. And as the great Carl Rogers once said, here's the second thing. The curious paradox is when I accept myself as I am, then I can change. Change, meaningful change, cannot happen for any one of us until we can accept ourselves as we are. If you're watching at home, you may have to grab different symbols because we're going to talk about that red stone. We're going to start off this morning with an experience of release. And everyone got a stone when you came in? Let's hold it up. Let's not stone the minister today. Everyone got it? Yes. So the stone itself is going to represent something that you are hanging on to that needs to be let go of. What is it, especially in 2024, something that's gnawing at you, challenging you, inhibiting you, causing you to perhaps behave like the person you know you are not meant to be? That's what the stone represents. The color red represents your feeling about this challenge, this relationship, this circumstance, or your unhealthy attachment to this challenge or this person. I know this is a little complicated, but I want you to identify if what you need to release is the challenge, the person, or the relationship, or the feeling and attachment that you have about it. Once you've identified that, I'm going to invite each and every person. This is the divine dumpster right here. And so the ritual goes like this. You come in, you identify if you're releasing the thing or your attachment or feeling about the thing. You're going to drop it in. You don't have to come on stage. You're going to walk around here, and you're going to grab a white stone and sit back down. They're a little chalky, these white stones, so don't go digging in all the way to the bottom, or you're going to come out with a chalky hand. But grab one white stone and sit down. Got it? All right, let's do it. Now, no time like the present. Oh, Dick, we're going to have you go around right here, around the front. So yeah, come walk around this way, everybody. There might be a little bit of traffic, but that's okay. We have a minute. Drop it in right around there. I mean, if you want to walk on the stage, you can. Just don't trip. And if you're watching at home, you can have a metaphorical red stone. You can find something that symbolizes that, or you can just take a moment to write down. This is what I've identified that needs to be released, whether it's the actual thing or your attachment or feeling around it. And I'll tell you about the white stone in a moment. How beautiful to see all of this releasing and letting go. I should have gotten 2 or 3 divine dumpsters, shouldn't I? might be a tricky turn, so I've got white stones for you here. While people are dropping in and grabbing their white stone, does anyone have the courage to share what they're releasing, as long as it's in the form of one sentence? Alexandra. The clutter in my house. All right. Yes, Connie. Your feelings around your son and your relationship. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Yes. It was hard to let go of that damn stone. Yes. Anybody else? Steve. Fear and doubt. Kari. Your relationship with your sister and yourself. Thank you so much. Betrayal. Thank you. Disappointment. Yes. Fear, and for her, it was easy. It was easy to drop off the stone. Great. Bear with us if you're watching at home to be just another minute. Yes, we're identifying either something to release or our attachment or feeling about it. Right? Okay, so I may not want to release my child, but I may want to release my anger at my child. Right? Oh, yeah, come get your white stone. All right. We're almost there. And so feel free, even now we're doing this process, to come a little late. There's no such thing as being late here. But when you have your white stone, I want you to recognize it as a symbol of renewal. So it can symbolize that which you want to be stepping into or a new choice. It can symbolize that which you want to step into, or if you don't know what that is, it's a new choice, a virtue you're going to practice, a new commitment to kindness, the choice to let go moment by moment. So just hold that stone and know what it represents for you. And if you don't know right now, that's okay, because that's the great thing about a symbol, is it can carry an idea for you. And what I'm going to invite you to do with this stone is, for as long as you need, to keep it with you, to hold on to it, to put it on an altar, whatever it may be, to remind you of what that which you want to step into or that new choice is for you. Anyone want to briefly share what it is for them? Out loud in front of God and everybody? Yes. Greater compassion. Wonderful. What a wonderful new choice to make. Jay. You want to be a better father. Wonderful. You are. You are. And every moment is an opportunity. Yes. Embrace joy. Yes. Carrie. More connection. Barbara. Trust and divine guidance. Yes. Being kinder to yourself. Kristen. Oh, yes. I like your authentic self. Nancy. I love that. You're using your time to do what brings you joy. Wonderful. Great answers, everybody. It gives you an example, and I love that. It's not just, oh, I'm going to step into a new relationship or into a new job. I'm going to step into a new choice that is going to be like a paintbrush that's going to co-create the best blessings for me possible. So we're going to move into some contemplative questions. The first round has to do with renewal, and the next round of questions has to do with this topic of resonance. And some of you, I can already tell you, are going to get a little mad at me because I'm not going to give you a lot of time to answer these questions. And we might need just a little bit more light so everybody can see their papers. So I'm going to ask a question, and you're going to have no more than 90 seconds to answer it. And what I want you to know as we're doing this intention setting process, this is a beginning for all of us. This is a beginning. This is something that may take weeks, if you're really committed to it, to take shape for you. And so what I want you to do when you answer these questions is to trust yourself as much as possible to bring forth an answer quickly. So it doesn't mean don't think about it, but don't think about thinking about it. Trust your consciousness to come out with what needs to. And so on our worksheet, the first question here is around renewal. And what I invite you to take a moment to write about is the following question. What were some of the gifts of 2024 that you want to expand upon in 2025? What were some of the gifts of 2024 that you want to expand upon in 2025? And we'll share this guiding quote from Gilda Radner as well. While we have the gift of life, it seems to me the only tragedy is to allow part of us to die, whether it is our spirit, our creativity, or our glorious uniqueness. For me, while we're wrapping that up, it was writing and publishing a book. It was leadership, getting to be a leader at Mile High Church, and it was making a commitment to quality time. In January, I decided to make a last-minute trip to go see my parents, and we had a beautiful dinner together. And I even stayed at their house for about an hour after dinner, which I never do. And as many of you know, I lost my dad in the summer. I'm so glad I got over not enough money, too busy at work to go and have that quality time. And so identifying these gifts now helps us know what we want to carry on from 2024 into 2025. The next question, and I'll tell you why I'm asking this later. How will I embrace rest in 2025? How will I embrace rest in 2025? And some guiding words from Wayne Mueller. When we live without listening to the timing of things, when we live and work in 24-hour shifts without rest, we are on wartime, mobilized for battle, Yes, we are strong and capable people. We can work without stopping, faster and faster. Electric lights making artificial days so the whole machine can labor without ceasing. But remember, no living thing lives like this. There are greater rhythms that govern how life grows, circadian rhythms, seasons and hormonal cycles and sunsets and moonrises, and great movements of seas and stars. We are part of the creation story, subject to all its laws and rhythms. For me, and know I share these because you're welcome to steal any of my answers that you want to, or to shut me out while you keep writing. Um, for me, I'm going to dedicate myself to being more present so that I can release the weight on my shoulders. And some of you have heard a little affirmation I have: as I am present in the now, God takes care of every how. There's something about the ability to try and release control and to realize that there may be something out there smarter than I am, that it can help me with my problems versus me always thinking I have to solve them by myself. I will say I am present in the as I am present in the now, God takes care of every how. Hmm? So if you turn the page, the next question is, how can I limit sensationalism in my life? Do you know what I mean when I ask that question? Drama, the constant flow of insane information that is flung at us, the predictions of all the terrible things that are going to happen, sensationalism. How can I limit sensationalism in my life? And some guiding words from the great Howard Thurman, who said, "There is something in every one of you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, you will all of your life spend your days on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls." My answer is pretty simple for this one. It's less news, more art. Less news, more art, or another way of putting that is less information, more creativity. I'm making a commitment to even watch kind of bad TV shows this year. As a snob to that kind of thing, I'm like, I'm not going to watch that one, and I don't know how good that looks. I'm even willing to watch okay shows. I'm also going to really work on building trust. Trust in the process and trust in other people, even to the extent of being aware of where I distrust so that I can build greater trust. The next question, the last one for this topic of renewal, is what are the ways I can get back to center? What are the ways I can get back to center? Emerson put it this way, that is always best which returns me to myself. What are those things for you? And some guiding words from Joseph Campbell. When the world seems to be falling apart, the rule is to hang on to your own bliss. It's that life that survives. And I hope the answers to this one are clear for you. For me, they're super clear. They're meditation, prayer, writing, exercise, music. Those are the things that get me back to center, and they generally are available to me at any time. I was worried about that because I said, they're really simple. And I'm like, oh shit, if I forget that. So when the shit hits the fan or is about to hit the fan, I can meditate, pray, write, music, exercise. Maybe not in those order. Aren't we blessed to have a ASL interpreter today? Thank you so much for your service to us. So at home, you may not have a choice, but in the room here, I just want to take 3 to 4 minutes if you'd like to share with someone any of the answers that you came up with. You can walk around the room or not, or you can take this time to refine what it is that you wrote. Take a moment to reflect on your reflection. So we're just going to take a few minutes to do that. You can share with anyone if you want. People don't share what was said to you outside of this room. That's the rule. Yes. Yes, Bev. Oh, that's your answer. Yes, I love. Oh, nature. Good, good. I like that. I'm going to walk around in a circle too. So if you want to share just with me, you can. Okay, so just one more minute for sharing. All right, so we're going to move into our next phase of contemplative questions. Can you see why I'm asking us to reflect on these questions? Because I want your answers to influence the intentions that you set for 2025. I want renewal, release, and resonance to influence the life that you co-create for yourself in 2025. So we've touched upon release, we've touched a little bit on renewal, and now questions that speak to resonance. And the first question is, and this one I'm only giving 30 seconds for because it should be a one-word answer. Does the life I am living resonate with my heart? The next question has to do with what does and what doesn't. Honestly, when you take the totality of your life right now, does it resonate with your heart? Steve Jobs said, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Let me tell you, too, that if your answer is no, that is a courageous answer that you've given. And it is a very positive sign that life is going to start resonating with you again very, very soon. But that, for us, sometimes people, Colleen, we have this next question. and it is, what about my life resonates and what about it does or no longer does? I know there was a redundancy in that question and I apologize, but you know what I mean. What about my life resonates and what about it no longer does? And from Donna Markova, I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance, to live so that which came to me as seed goes to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom goes on as fruit. And again, not as a challenge, but as a warning. If you're not being honest with yourself, you are standing in the way of your own becoming. If you're not going to be honest with yourself, how can you expect anyone else to be honest with you? For me, I'm a yes to being a mile high minister. I'm a no to being a mile high manager. I'm saying yes to rest, no to anxiety. I'm saying yes to being a good dad and no to being an unhappy husband. What is it for you? Don't have to say out loud yet. So again, that may be one you need to come back to. Our next question is, what do I do that leads to a sense of flow, synergy, and synchronicity? What do I do that leads to a sense of flow, synergy, and synchronicity? It may be very similar to the centering question, and that's okay, but it may be different. And some words from Henry Nouwen. Every morning, alone or in the company of others, I spend at least 1 hour in quiet prayer and meditation. I say every morning, but there are exceptions. Fatigue, busyness, and preoccupation often serve as arguments for not praying. Yet without this 1 hour a day for God, my life loses its coherence, and I start experiencing my days as a series of random incidents and accidents rather than divine appointments and encounters. Creative flow. The question is, can you explain synergy, coherence, connection? For me, the answer is pretty simple. It's just my morning time. It's creative morning time, not just to do my spiritual practice, but to plan, to create, and to be in my own energies when I do it, not anybody else's. And when I have that, there's a sense of flow, synchronicity to my day. So everything doesn't feel like random events, but like Nouwen says, divine appointments and encounters. Last question for this topic of resonance is, how might I better open to experiencing God's resonance in my life? If you want to call it universal mind or spirit, something else, that's fine. How might I better open to experiencing Spirit's resonance in my life? And some words from St. Teresa: silence of our minds, silence of our lips, in the silence of the heart, God will speak. For me, the answer that came is to stop, Josh, arguing with what is and step into what makes you happy. That's my answer. I'm going to stop arguing with what is or my belief about what is and step into what makes me happy. Instead of sharing with a partner, I'm just going to walk around with a microphone a little bit and see if there's a brave couple people in here that will answer those questions. But let's start with this first one overall. Don't answer if you don't want to, but how many people, when the question is asked, does your life resonate with your heart, was the answer yes? Awesome. Who had the answer no? Great, thank you for your courage in that. Sometimes. How many in-betweenies? All right. And you know the answer can be yes and no sometimes too. We're complicated beings, right? So I contradict myself, said Whitman. I contain multitudes. It's cool. It's okay. Song of my soul. The next question was, what about my life resonates, and what about it does or no longer does? Anyone willing to share an answer for that? Marcelo.
What resonates is cornucopia conversations. Conversations are wide-ranging and interesting. Brainstorming with people on projects. What doesn't is regularly supporting others over my own needs.
That was one of my creative affirmations this year. As I meet my own needs, others' needs are met. It kind of worked sometimes. Jay?
I realized I resonated with my life when I was on a bus and a homeless man stopped in front of it and he was threatening people, and I got off the bus and I told the bus to go and I said, "Hey man, why don't you come and talk to me?" Everyone was scared, but I wasn't.
Thank you, Jay. Time for one more. I always think of that Twilight Zone. Room for one more, honey. Do you remember? Okay. Next question there was, what do I do that leads to a sense of flow, synergy, and synchronicity? Didn't they used to have Twilight Zone marathons on New Year's Day? Or was that only Thanksgiving? Join us for our sermon series on the Twilight Zone. Starting back to basics, back to the Twilight Zone. What do I do that leads to a sense of flow, synergy, and synchronicity? Anybody? You can just shout it out. Hi, Kristen. Choosing curiosity over fear. Awesome. Following my intuition. Fantastic. Be with the trees. Focus on the beauty in the moment. Anybody else? Tapping? Awesome. Living life on purpose. Right. Great. And how might I better open to experiencing God's resonance in my life? Tom. Listening to the clues his spirit guide sends him every day. Great. I'm sorry? Staying prayed up. Excellent. More Mile High. That's great. Awesome. Volunteering service. That's wonderful as well. So without further ado, everyone, we're going to move into our intention setting process. It's kind of an envisioning, it's kind of a brainstorming. Again, some of you are so clear that your intentions will be complete in this 15-20 minute process. For most of us, it's just the beginning. It's going to involve some refining afterwards. To remind those of you who are here in the room, we are going to do a going deeper workshop when we're done here that's going to involve setting creative affirmations and daily habits that will support us in creating our intention. Not necessary. If you're online, I'm sorry, and all the sheets, the worksheets are there to do that as well. You can always email me at jreeves@milehighchurch.org. I will do a personal workshop for you. Not on my OnlyFans, but... So you're going to see a sheet here. It's going to have 4 areas on it. You get to decide what these areas are, but what I'm guiding you to is what they're about. And the 4 areas here are vocation, relationship, well-being, and play. Based upon what you're wanting to co-create for yourself this year, you may want to put something more general or more specific. So on vocation, I might put Mile High Church, or I might put creative writing, right? You may be more specific. You may put getting a new job. But if you're not clear on something specific you're wanting to co-create, general is actually really good. For relationship, you may put your marriage. You might put parenthood. You might put finding the one. Or you may just leave it as relationship in general and see what comes up. Well-being may look like self-care, improving sleep, whatever it may be. And play might look like adventure. I sometimes like to use the word fun, but talking about the importance of resonance, this may be the most important area, because without a little play and adventure, life does not resonate. So decide what those areas are, and we'll be doing a little envisioning for each one. But the beginning of the visioning, so you know there's not a space to write down, so you might want to be ready to write on the back of your paper or something like that. But I just invite us to welcome ourselves in to our inner life. Welcome your conscious mind in to your inner life. And I invite you to consider with me that there is such a deep and grounded wisdom in this inner life. That there are so many seeds of love, of creativity, of vision, of passion, and of wonder under the seed bed of the soil of our inner life. I invite us to know that this inner life is also sanctuary. That in this moment right now, you and I are safe in our own skin, safe in the pleasure of being in the divine garden of our own consciousness. And as we have welcomed ourselves into this inner life, we allow our conscious mind right now to receive the wisdom and guidance and inspiration and playful creativity of the wisdom that is the ground of being of this inner life. So, listening to this life, let us ask the question, what is the grandest idea for my life in 2025? What is the grandest idea for my life in 2025? This is the question that doesn't have a space to write, so just write somewhere, anything that comes forward. What is the grandest idea for my life in 2025? You may get something really specific. It may just be feelings. I'm a word person, so I got a guiding statement that went like this. In touch and feeling in step with the love, intelligence in the universe, I live a life of dynamic service, which results in a life amplified by amazing experiences, connections, and possibilities. It may not come through you like that, but trust that what comes through is good, because what is in your inner life is good. And when we think anything in our inner life is not good, we've misunderstood what it is. So just another moment to write anything else about a grand idea for your life in 2025. And so just returning our conscious awareness to the wisdom of our inner life, the divine sparkle and creative force of our inner life. We're going to move to this area that I called vocation, and you can call whatever you want. And just tuned in to the inner wisdom and guidance of this inner life, let us call forth, what is my key intention for vocation or calling or success in 2025? What is my key intention for vocation in 2025? It can be confusing, it can be jarbled, whatever comes up, it may come crystal clear. My key intention was to embody my calling and live it, is my key intention. Yours may be something more specific or general. And we're just going to take that key intention and in light of it, write down what are some things I'd like to accomplish in this area in 2025. What are some things I'd like to accomplish in this area in 2025? So for me, I want to embody my calling and live it. So I want to do more speaking, more writing, and I want to be sought after as a speaker and a writer. Those are my intentions. So just one more moment for this. And if you're like me and you write a lot of intentions and any of them really speak to you, underline them or star them because you'll want to go back to them later. So again, just returning our conscious awareness to that inner life, to that love intelligence within each and every one of us. I'm reminded of that definition of God that Ernest Holmes once gave, that life is the unlimited creative potential combined with creative imagination. And that's all we're doing in this moment is we're opening up with creative imagination to unlimited potential. And just tuning into that inner guidance, I just invite us to ask in regards to relationship or whatever you place there, what is my key intention? Just allow to come forth for you a key intention around a or all relationships for you this year. What is your key intention for a relationship? Mine is to make sure I am contributing to my own and the highest good for each of my family members. To make sure that I am contributing to my own and the highest good of every person in my family. And as you have articulated your intention, go to that next one and what are some of the things that you'd like to accomplish in this area in 2025? What are some things I'd like to accomplish in regards to this intention in 2025? For me, it's things like quality time, asking courageous questions, articulating my own needs. Just one more minute for this. So we're now going to, again, return to that divine wisdom that is within us and, believe it or not, all around us too. And just releasing anything that might disconnect us or tell us that we're not good enough to be connected with a divine creative intelligence. Just invite us to let that go as we now turn to this topic of well-being. Could show up as health or self-care, and I love to define self-care as hard-working self-love. So if that definition helps you at all, let's go into this opening up to hearing from our own inner being a key intention for our well-being in 2025. What is a key intention for well-being in 2025 for you? What is a key intention? Mine is, I love taking care of me. I love taking care of me is my key intention. And once you have that intention, or at least the sprouting of it, you can write down some things you'd like to accomplish in this area in 2025. Mine are things like establishing more of that morning time I was talking about, regular exercise, winding down time, more specifically, monthly therapy, a quarterly massage, extra things I'm willing to step into in 2025. How wonderful it would be if we loved ourselves in our flaws instead of rejected ourselves in them. Maybe some of those flaws would turn into something magical instead. For there's no growth or change without those flaws. Just take one more minute to wrap that up. All right, we have one area to move through. My inner wisdom is telling me I am not full of shit when I say you are doing a good job at this. You are doing a great job. So we're going to move into that final area that I've entitled play. It could be something else for you, travel, fun, adventure. And just tuning in to that possibility that the very heart of your being is an unconditioned joy the joy of being itself that cannot be shaped by any challenge or circumstance, that's just always there beaming. Believing in that part of myself. I believe in it for you and invite you to open up to it and to allow a key intention for 2025 to emerge for play, for fun, for just kicking around and being the beauty and the wonder that is you. What is a key intention for play? What is a key intention? Mine is to make enjoying life my number one priority. To make enjoying life my number one priority. And once you've got it, just allow the possibility of intentions to come forward for you. Quality time with friends, taking a trip. I want to specifically fly my sisters into Colorado to do an ash scattering for my father in a town where he grew up here. It's okay to be selfish in how you answer this question. What could play look like in 2025 for you? So just again acknowledging that this is the beginning of a process and not the completion. That the intentions that have been born are divine guides that we now get to co-create on a daily and perhaps even moment-by-moment basis with a divine intelligence. Knowing these intentions have been revealed to us, they are now in the realm of our conscious choices that we make not isolated or alone, but in light of a brilliant intelligence. Walker Percy, a great Southern writer, once said, "Suppose you asked God for a miracle, and God said, 'Yes, very well.' How would you live your life differently?" And so as we close this part of our intention process today, I just invite us to recognize that the realization of our intentions will not come through control or through force, but through trust and a creative surrender to this inner life within us. That in truth, all we are being called for is a greater way of being ourselves and a greater transparency to the divine possibility, potentiality, and even actuality within us to come forward in more vibrant and emphatic ways. So making our own inner commitment, not to make our intentions happen, but to nurture them within with love in mind and tenacious willingness. I know that this year becomes not a monotony, but indeed a grand adventure as we live in alignment with our true purpose in being, to be our awesome, authentic, incredible selves in newfound and wonderful ways, in joyous, deepening, and inspiring love and connection with others, in this great joy of being and becoming called life. So if I had more time with everybody, I'd had everyone turn around and share your intentions with everyone, and I don't. But I do, again, want to invite the people that are in the sanctuary at 11:40. There's snacks over there. All sorts of stuff, but we'll meet there and we'll go even deeper into creating creative affirmations for each of these 4 areas, and then picking one of our intentions and learning how to build monthly, weekly, and daily habits that help to manifest and to bring them forth in our life, so that it will be, I don't know, an hour or so over there. So I invite you to have some snacks and join us. We do have a couple minutes for any questions or comments. Did it work for you? Did you come up with some stuff? Yeah, Colleen.
In the meditation, I came up with today is the first day of the second quarter of the 21st century. What am I going to do with it?
I love you, Colleen. Anybody else? Yeah.
Will you be doing quarterly extensions on this like you did last year?
No. But I'm around. You know where to find me. You can start that with someone else if you want to create some sort of hold yourself accountable group. Yes, hi.
Hi. So one of my key takeaways is something that you said in the very, very beginning about God takes care of the how, because I get all tripped up on what do I need to do? Da, 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 da. God takes care of the how. So thank you.
Yes. Yeah, as a conscious control freak, I always convince myself that I am the power in the universe that makes things happen. It's a very weird neuroses. And so to remember that there may actually be someone or something out there that's smarter than me helps me let the need to control go, and actually shit starts to work out. Isn't that funny how that works? So it's a good thing for people like us to remember. I didn't mean to say that as the truth of who you are, but you know how it is. Anybody else? Just a couple quick random Josh thoughts before we go. Some of you have heard this from me before. If you're setting an intention from a place of not being enough, you're going to wind up not enough. You only want to set an intention from a place of your wholeness, and it's going to lead you to your wholeness, whether you accomplish it or not. And so any of this stuff that we get into goal setting from I'm incomplete, I'm not enough, there's something wrong with me, if you set an intention from that place, it only leads you back there. Because what you need to learn is that's not the truth of who you are. And when you embrace that sense of wholeness, or even that sense of self-acceptance in the experience of being broken, which is okay too, that wholeness can start to emerge. I would also invite us to remember that it's not about checking off boxes with these intentions, but it's to embrace them as guides. So when you can have those intentions be more affirmative, as we'll talk about in the next session, the intentions and the things that might happen might be even more grand than you've articulated today. So don't be so attached to the intention taking place so exactly, but allow it to show up in new and profound ways. And to end with that one that we started with, self-acceptance is the key to what? Balance and change. So if you can accept yourself as you are every day, you've done it. You've accomplished the whole thing, and everything else will come out of that. All right. Well, I'm so grateful that everyone is here. I'm going to put him on the spot because I know he'll say yes. But Steve, will you say a little closing blessing for us today? Look at that shirt, ladies and gentlemen. I love that shirt.
Yeah, if bees wore plaid. So we just center in and we give thanks for this time together, for this reawakening of the divine within, that divine purpose, knowing that we are infinitely guided by Spirit to that greater expression of life, that greater expression of love. And we know that the truth of Spirit goes forth from this day into the days ahead, guiding us with peace, joy, gratitude, and love. So it is.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate everyone coming. Just a reminder, I'm sure you saw them. There's love donation baskets out there if you want to give a gift. If you're watching online, thank you for attending. You can give to the church online, and your gifts are greatly appreciated. This is my favorite thing to do here every year, so this is something I just do for myself. So I'm so glad that you've come and been a part of that with me. So thank you so much for being here today. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see some of you in 20 minutes in the community center.